Thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Jeff, and thank you for putting this whole event together. How about a round of applause for Jeff? So yes, my name is Lonnie Dhama. I am a business shaman, and what that means is I help people take ancient wisdom and make modern profits out of it. And we talked about sacred economics. What I believe is holy is being profitable. And I'm going to teach you how you can incorporate this vision into your lifestyle and teach you some of the lessons that CEOs and executives bring me in to teach to them. So first off, let's talk about my background. I am a best-selling author. You may be familiar with some of my books. In case you're not, I'll introduce you. One of them is called The Bodhisattva of Branding, Turning Enlightenment into Paying Customers. Another one of the books that I'm famous for, Gongs and Bongs. This is about using ancient Eastern percussion instruments and marijuana to fix your life. Another book that I've written, Employees Who Run with the Wolves. This is about the wild employee archetype used throughout mythology and how you can tame these untamable employees. And my most well-known book, Love Karma, 100 Ways to Make Your Relationship Last, which I wrote with my ex-wife. Yeah. So, my background also, I am a guru to the stars. I work with a lot of famous celebrities, bringing Eastern philosophy to their lives. Some of the people I've worked with, Oprah, Sting, Russell Simmons, Madonna, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin. A lot of people are surprised that I've done work with Putin. We've done a lot of great Reiki work together. Little known fact, Vladimir Putin, big fan of Reiki. This is actually a photo of a session beforehand. And I think you see the impact that I was able to have on him with this after photo, after Reiki. He's a much more sensitive soul than he's given credit for. Myself, I am a Buddhist master. I have won the 2015 Tibetan Buddhist Championship. Yeah, 3 years in a row, I've been the champion, the most impressive Buddhist in all of Tibet. The Dalai Lama has given me the award each year. I'm humbled by that. I am also the world record holder for silent meditation. I silently meditated for 15 years in a row and really gained incredible heights of awareness from doing that. I am also able to exit the cycle of birth and death, yet I choose to remain behind and help others. And you're welcome. That's something that I do for all of you when I could just not be here. I've also achieved the highest Buddhist meditative level possible, which is seeing emptiness. And I think when you listen to my ideas, you'll be very impressed with how empty they are. It's very much what I'm all about, is total emptiness. So let's talk a little bit about my path. How did I wind up here? Well, it all began with the first job that I ever had, sales associate at Lululemon in Bethesda, Maryland. That was when I was first exposed to something that I like to call suburban spiritualism, which really the epicenter of that, Lululemon and California Pizza Kitchen. Those are where those things really begin. So I was working along there and then suffered a tragedy. My mother died in a freak accident where she was trying to take a selfie with a beaver who then severed her artery and she bled out in a stream. And that really changed my entire path, changed my life. After that, I spent 12 years at an online monastery. Yeah, alone in the wilds of the internet. Just studying, silently meditating, getting to see emptiness. It was really a life-changing event for me. And at the same time, I amassed a fortune by selling subprime mortgages. This was before the financial crisis. Again, I think profits and mindfulness go together naturally, and that was something that I was able to see with my condo developments outside of Las Vegas. I also have to give a lot of credit to my mentor, the person who's taught me more than anyone, Vishnu Tamukanda. You may know this person by another name, Gwyneth Paltrow. She was really the person who guided me the most before our conscious uncoupling. After I did my work with Vishnu, I started an organization called Lunar Flames. I want to be clear about something, though. There's been a lot of talk about Lunar Flames. Lunar Flames was not a Wiccan sex coven. Okay, I want to be clear about that. There was nothing Wiccan about it, okay? I just like to be clear because there's been a lot of controversy around this. Let's talk about it. Okay, is it sex or is it joining with a partner to move inner energy? I think that's a key question. Is it an orgy or a healing prayer circle? Again, these are the kinds of questions we need to ask before we make allegations, before we file lawsuits. Is it sexual assault or curing a woman's migraines by massaging her urethra? These are the kinds of questions we need to ask. And unfortunately, I can't give answers because the lawsuit is still pending. But good questions to talk about. After this, I founded Green Crystal Canyon, a Dharma meditation and yoga center located in the Bellagio Casino in Las Vegas. Because really, how good of a meditator are you if you're just on some mountainside, if you're at a retreat, if you're on the ocean? If you're that great, let's see you do it in the middle of the slot machines. That's where you know you really have attained the next level mastery of meditation. Now I want to talk about some of the lessons that I give to the executives that I talk to, how to have ancient wisdom and combine it with modern profits. Eastern thought, modern revenue. So, why is this important? Well, like I always say, mo focus, mo money. All right? Money is the goal here. This is your nirvana. We are #Nirvana going to reach it together, And why you want this in the workplace is it keeps your employees from forming unions or striking. If they are just mindful and meditating, they're not going to rise up. It promotes an acceptance of the status quo, which is how we like our employees to be. It also keeps everyone focused on enlightenment, which is my term for maximizing revenue. So let's talk about 10 ways that, executives, perhaps some of you have businesses, how you can achieve business nirvana. One of the first things I always tell people, live tweet your meditation. All right, you need to bring the world into your meditative process. Here's some examples of me live tweeting my meditation. Breathing in, #live meditating. Breathing out, #live meditating. Loud people on the street, this is my test. I am tolerant, live meditating. Just bring people into your process. This is the way you get to true peacefulness and spread it out to your employees and to the rest of the world. And don't forget those hashtags. I also begin each meeting with a Long Island ayahuasca tea ceremony. Now, people ask me, what's in a Long Island ayahuasca? It's very similar to a Long Island iced tea, but with psychedelics instead of alcohol. So is it one of these things? No, it's a combination of ayahuasca, LSD, psilocybin, peyote, ketamine, DMT, MDMA, and please don't forget the bath salts. Key feature, because you want to feel that rage in there with the rest of it. So this is a great way to start each meeting. When I have a meeting after drinking this, I really make an impression on people. There's a lot of chanting also. Something else I advise, Skype Reiki sessions. People are like, oh, we're a continent apart. That's fine. I could feel your energy over the internet. Let's do a Wi-Fi Reiki session together. And as you can see, I used my healing hands. Look at the impact I'm having on this fellow. He had a great time. Really big fan. In case you don't have access to Skype, again, you can always use Twitter. Online Reiki session over Twitter is great. See, I told him his headache was gone, and now you're goddamn healed. I also advise juicing. I'm on a strict juice regimen. My favorite juice is one that combines rainwater with cashew milk, pink Himalayan sea salt, ground up goat bones, and my own pubic hair. Now I know, it sounds not that great, but you'd be surprised at the level of nutrition in your pubic hair. I highly advise, grind that up, put it in a blender, see what happens. You're gonna feel the difference the next day. Also, snoga. A lot of people into hot yoga. I think it's overrated. okay? Nothing goes better with flexibility than cold temperatures. So get out there in the snow. Winter's coming, stretch it out. All right, when you're freezing and stretching, that's when you really feel that next level. Give yourself some obstacles to overcome. Also remember that the way to measure success in the yoga world is by your number of Instagram followers. All right, how many followers you have on Instagram is how successful you are at yoga. 800,000 followers she has on her poses, she's 800,000 times closer to nirvana. All right, keep that in mind. Also, stock up on those inspirational quotes. Nothing comes across better on Instagram than just motivational quotes. That's how you show people you're enlightened. I also encourage something I call placenta sound therapy. I do this with all my employees. When's the most peaceful time you've ever had in your life? When you were in the womb, right? So how do we get back there? Well, what I do is I put your head in a giant bowl of placenta, and then I start hitting gongs and tuning forks and throwing crystals at you. And the life-changing capacity of this experience is really amazing. It really reverts people back to that womb-like state, helps you get into a trance. If you haven't tried my placenta sound therapy, you've got to get on board. You really have to try it. Also, I advise casting spells. Anytime you can cast a spell against one of your competitors, you've got to go for it. For example, I've cast a lot of powerful spells against my archenemy, Robert Thurman. He said a lot of negative things about me in the press that I didn't appreciate. So I went ahead, cast a spell against him. 3 weeks later, his daughter got divorced. Coincidence? You tell me, all right? Don't be afraid to use those spells. Everything's fair in business. Also, a lot of tantric sex. I always advise tantric sex. No release of semen. You've got to preserve that kundalini energy. All right? But I advise a minimum of 72 hours when you have sex. If you release after 60 hours, I consider that premature ejaculation. Okay? You've got to go the full 72 hours. Make sure the sex is as uncomfortable as possible. All right? This is the most important thing when you're making love. Also, plant job reviews. I have all my employees, when it's time for a job review, sit in a room with a plant for 2 hours. And the plant explains to them how they're doing at their job. You just need to listen. Because as we all know, the plants are the real boss here. So I make sure the plants are talking to the employees. And I also think it's crucial to fire your employees mindfully. Okay? You can't just bring someone into a room and say you're fired. What you say is that you're liberated from your employment. It's all in the phrases that you use. So I think I've pretty much summed up a lot of my business shaman philosophies. I do have one more thing, though. I'm excited to announce a product that my company will be introducing to the world. I really highly recommend it. It is called Guru, and it is like Uber for meditation. And basically, with a tap of a button, you can have someone else do your meditating for you, which is amazing. We're all too busy. We don't have the time, yet we realize the benefits that come from meditation. Just hit this button, someone's going to be doing your meditating for you, and you have a camera, you get to see that they're actually doing it. You get to watch them, and then you get all that wisdom for yourself. It is the perfect modern solution to gaining that wisdom without having to waste all the time with actually doing the meditating, which, as we know, is a huge time suck. So that's about all I have. My name is Lonnie Dhama. I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have. Thank you. I will say during the Q&A session, I really prefer, as much as possible, if you can make the question lengthy and all about you, and extremely vague, and then end with something that is more of a statement than a question. I'd really appreciate it. Anyone have anything? All right, I guess we're wrapped then. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks so much.